So the second video I'm doing about bipolar. Bipolar? I've not got polio, I've got bipolar. About bipolar is specifically relating to lithium. These are my pills that I take at the moment. So in England they're called Priadel, and I take a 400mg with a 200mg together in the evening before bed, which makes 600mg. So in England the box looked like this, and now that I've moved country they don't call it Priadel, they call it this. And stupidly in France they don't have the 200mg dosage, so every single second night in the future I'm going to have to cut a pill in half just so that I have the right dosage. And the pharmacist did check to see that, because there are some pills out there that you can cut and the lithium is evenly distributed within the pill, and there are some lithium tablets where it's not, and if you cut it in half you might have one really strong side and one really weak side. So that obviously doesn't work because you have to get the dosage right with lithium. So a little tip, because I've done this quite a lot in the past, and I would go away for the weekend or I'd go on holiday and I'd forget my medication. So a really great thing to do is to make sure that this sheet that you get given when you have your prescription, you keep in your wallet at all times, so that if you do forget your meds, you can literally take this to any pharmacist, even in a different country, and they would much more quickly be able to give you what you need, because otherwise they have to ring your doctor, they have to get permission from them, they might have to get things faxed through or emailed through. It's a really long-winded process, and sometimes I spent half of my weekend, I remember, in Bristol with my cousin Becky once, just standing at the counter in Boots for ages, like, oh, I need my lithium, why didn't I bring it with me? Because I know from past experience that if I don't take lithium for 2 or 3 nights, that's when I can be in danger of getting high, because it took me about 4 days to get pretty high. When I came off, I didn't actually fully come off, I'll tell you about that in another video, but I was out of the therapeutic range, yeah, so I wasn't having the benefit of it, and in 4 days I was already rising up. So some people have these little pots, pill pots, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and they might have those for a week or a month, and they put all their pills in these different pots. But for me, because it's the only medication I take, it's not very confusing. I just take my dosage every evening before bed, and I keep it in this pretty little box, and I make sure that it's always fully stocked. And if it's running low, then I go and get my new box from the pharmacy, and just to make sure that I'm not going to run out, because running out is not a good plan. So the next part of this film is now about getting your, bear with me, hang on, tips and tricks on blood tests. Now, when I was coming off olanzapine, it took me a really long time to get the right dosage with lithium, and not one doctor or drugs doctor, mental health person, phlebotomist, no one told me that I should make sure that I take my medication exactly 12 hours, no more and no less, before I have my blood tested. So because I didn't do this, because I didn't know, my blood results and my readings were coming back either quite high or quite low. They were all over the place, and we couldn't work out why they were all over the place. I wasn't necessarily changing my dosage, but it was all over the place. No one actually twigged. Why don't you just tell me? I could have come off olanzapine much quicker if someone had told me that, because we could have just got it right much sooner. So yeah, what I do is if I know that my blood test is at 8 in the morning or 9 in the morning, I set my alarm for 12 hours before, and I make sure that I take my medication at that time. And if I don't, I ring up the doctor and I cancel it and I rebook it for another appointment, because there's no point me getting a bad reading, because then it just makes no sense. It's not accurate, because lithium kind of drains out of your system really quickly. So if it's even an hour or two out, then your reading can be much lower than what's actually kind of the average or the norm in your body. And then they're like, oh, maybe you need to up your dosage because it's too low, you're not in the therapeutic range. You can see how it's going to get confusing and messy. So yeah, be accurate with that. That is my tip. Yeah. And if the phlebotomist can't find a good place in your arm, then believe me, after having it done every 3 months or every 6 months, you don't care where they put the needle, just get it in, find my blood, take it out and get it over and done with. So yeah, for me normally it's my left arm they do it in, but sometimes they have to prod around on the other side. And I'm very good at squeezing my hands like this, and usually I've cycled there, so my blood's pumped, and it's kind of easy to get and find my veins. So that's my tips. I hope you enjoyed that. Bye! And by the way, don't forget, click like and subscribe to my channel because you love it and you want to find out more. So this is the third video about bipolar from the Joanna Nahum Claudel perspective. And this one is based around getting toxic on lithium. So first I'm going to tell you, I wrote this down, I found it out just to make sure, because I used to get so confused about this. So the therapeutic range that you have to be in with lithium in your blood, the lowest point goes from 0.4 all the way up to 1.0. So I used to call that 10 in my mind, because otherwise it was just so confusing. It seems like 1.0 is less than 0.4, but no, it's like 10. So 0.4 all the way to 1.0 is the therapeutic range. Now, when I got to 0.8-ish with the toxicity in my blood, I started getting these toxic symptoms. So the first thing I noticed was that when I was going about my work and just anything to do with my hands in my day-to-day life, I would notice that I would just get this like slight tremor, and my hands would literally, they wouldn't really do what I wanted them to do. And I'd go for something and I'd notice that my fingers are kind of wobbling, and I was like, what earth is going on with my hands? What's going on? Why can't I control my hands? It was a bit scary. I didn't know what was happening. I didn't even know that these were the symptoms of being in the upper range. I didn't even know that I was getting too high in the therapeutic range, because I was 0.8, so I was 0.2 off the top level. And I was just thinking, oh, well, if I get to 1.0, then I'll start feeling it. But no, I felt it way before that. So shaking hands is one of them. Another side effect is I think I had quite a lot of headaches, quite strong headaches, and I don't normally get headaches, even from when I was a young girl. It wasn't one of those things that I got really very often. So yeah, I'd get like thick headaches, couldn't explain why. There was nothing else in my life going on that made me think that's why I've got a headache. And then I started feeling bit like morning sickness, just feeling really nauseous and feeling really sick, even though the food that I'd eaten was food that I like, and I normally, I don't dislike the food that I was eating, so there was no reason for me to feel sick. So there was that, and I was like, I'm just going to go and have a blood test and just talk to my doctor about this and see what on earth is going on. And then there was a whole consultation, range of sessions where he was like, okay, well, let's try dropping by 100 milligrams and see how you feel. I think at the time I was on 800 milligrams. At the moment, right now, I'm on 600 milligrams. But this depends on your metabolic rate, how you metabolize the pill in your system. And I was much bigger, much chunkier, much fatter then, so I needed probably more in my body anyway, just to get the right amount in my blood. And now 600 is fine for me because I'm much more active, I'm a much better weight for my height, I'm much healthier within myself. Before I was a slug, slow as anything, and yeah, so 800 milligrams didn't work. And when I came down, I did feel a lot better. I think it was really quite quick for me to feel the benefits of reducing my medication. So I probably went to 700, and then I don't know, sorry if I don't know the dates or the time lapses, but it's all a bit of a blur. It's all just numbers and time, that's not that important, is it? So yeah, whether it went, I think 700, let's say, felt much better, wasn't having the symptoms of being toxic on lithium anymore. So yeah, that was fine. I stayed on that for quite a long time, 700, and then I dropped again to 600 a year or two later for various other reasons. So I hope that was interesting, and again, press the like button if you like what I'm chatting about, and subscribe if you want to see maybe some of my other videos, because I don't talk just about bipolar, I talk about how to move to France, yoga, vegan cooking, all sorts of yummy, exciting things. Thank you very much, and goodbye.